All right, good evening, nerds around the world. Welcome to episode 159 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. I'm Paul English, and we have a fantastic show for you, like always. And to help me with it, we got our main crew of Colton and Mike. What's going on, boys?
Yeah, not much. Just living life to the semi-fullest.
Yeah, not much here, just hating allergies with a passion.
Don't we all hate those? Okay, so as you no doubt seen our society, nostalgia is at an all-time high for our generation. We love looking at the past, thinking about simpler times and how much easier life was when we were kids. So in honor of that, we are going to be looking at 5 retro shows that have not got a complete series box set release yet that should. Before we do that, I have some happy news I want to share for our Red Sox fans here. A month after getting shot, David Ortiz is finally being released from the hospital and heading home to finish his recovery, so I'm very excited to hear that. I hope we wish him the best always. That's good to hear. All right. So let's jump into this topic, guys. And Colton, I will come to you first. Give me number 5 on your list.
Okay, number 5 on my list. They've only gotten despite the fact that the show has been running on syndication and endlessly for the past few decades, it still hasn't gotten a release, and I think it might have something to do with some very silly copyright issues, but that is Happy Days. It's a classic, I mean, we all grew up with it, watching it endlessly on Nick at Night and everything. Yet, because there's probably, the issues regarding music, I guess, that might be the reason that's kept it from being released all at once and what have you. And I think that's silly, though. If that's not the case, then I retract the statement. But for a show that's been on the air and in syndication and reruns for that long, it's like, hey, why not just put it all onto one convenient box set for the people that are big fans of the show, I'm sure that will make a lot of money for them. So yeah, number 5 on my list is Happy Days.
All right, Mike, what's number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list is The Muppet Show.
Nice. I've actually got 3 seasons of that.
Yeah, I've got all 3. I've got all 3 seasons, yeah. But the show ran for 5 seasons. Seasons 4 and 5 have never been released on DVD as far as I can tell, at least not in this country. And I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, especially like a few years ago when the Muppets had a huge renaissance. What the hell? I mean, it's one of the most popular shows of all time. It was fantastic. It went out on a high note, actually. It was, still very popular when they decided to end it and move on to other, keep going with the Muppets, but it just baffles my mind why it's never gotten a full all 5 season release. I don't get it. So yeah, number 5 on my list is The Muppet Show.
Very good. Okay, number 5 on my list is the original run of All That. I mean, this was Saturday Night Live for kids. It featured a legendary cast and some of the greatest skits that we as kids got to see. We had Good Burger skits. We had Ask Ashley. We had Coach Cretin. We had Ear Boy, Detective Dan. I mean, just too many to list, really.
Don't forget about Pierre Escargot.
Oh, Everyday French with Pierre Escargot. Yes, I love that. Cheeseburger Doyle, too. And probably my personal favorite, Repair Madman. I fucking love that. I know it would be an issue with all the musical guests. You probably couldn't get licensing for that, but I mean, they don't really show those when they replayed them on 90s or All That and Splat and whatnot. So, I mean, it's not really a huge loss. And let's be honest, how many of those groups from the 90s are still around, really? So, I mean, it's not like we missed much. So, yeah, the original run of All That, I'm talking like the first 6 or 7 seasons before they just completely whited it out in like 2002, 2003. Let's not talk about that. Okay, the number 5 on the list, the original All That run. All right, Colton, back to you. Number 4 on your list is?
Real quick, honestly, the musical guest was actually my least favorite part of All That. I'm not entirely sure why, but by the time that happened, I usually tuned out. Probably because I'm like, oh yeah, the show is going to be over once the musical guest is finished. But anyway, number 4 on my list. This is a show that ran for 2 seasons, so the fact that they cannot get a full release is like, is just kind of absurd, and that is the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. I was a huge Johnny Quest fan, so I loved seeing this show back when I was little. But for whatever reason, they simply got the volume treatment when it came to their release. And I'm like, again, it's 2 seasons. It should not be this hard to release it all on DVD and all at once. It was maybe not the best version of Johnny Quest, but it was still a pretty good sequel continuation of the series. And I would love just to have it all conveniently in one place. And admittedly, you can get it all on iTunes and Google Play, but screw that, okay? I want to physically have it in my hands. This is like my main issue with streaming services. And they're killing the DVD industry. Like at Barnes and Noble, I found out that their DVD division is closing soon because they can't compete with streaming services or Amazon. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake! But sorry, I went into a bit of a
No. You're right. And I feel the same way. Fuck digital, okay? I will always buy physical no matter what. The day movies are sold on discs is the day I stop buying movies. Same with video games. So I mean, yeah, physical all the way.
Yeah, so Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Whoever holds the rights to that show, get on it. I love that show.
All right, Mike, what's number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list. This is a series that I don't get. It was one of the best Marvel animated series I've ever seen. It was Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Very, very good show.
Ran for 2 seasons just as Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and they went off to like Avengers Assemble.
All kinds of spin-offs and whatnot.
Yeah. I was only able to get these two, like the 2 seasons on Blu-ray from Amazon Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It was never released in the United States. They released like 4-episode discs, compilations, but never the entire seasons. You have to go to Canada or wherever. And look, it's even got English and French because it's Canadian.
Yep.
So I mean, it was an amazing series. It touched all of the things that you wanted from an Avengers series. All the villains, all the heroes. It was so good. I don't know why they can't release it in America. So yeah, Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Let us also not forget a kick-ass theme song, which is essential to a good show. You need to have a good theme song.
Absolutely.
I miss theme songs.
Yeah, I think we all do. All right. The number 4 on my list is actually continuing with the all that theme. Their first spin-off it had, Kenan and Kel. They were the most popular character, so it's all saying makes sense. They create their own show, and I mean, come on. It was hilarious, Kenan and Kel together. And as Colton alluded, you may not hear, but that amazing theme song was that Coolio doing it, or was that Snoop Dogg?
It was Coolio.
Was Coolio doing it? Okay, so and then you got the great Ken Foree as Kenan's dad, and just a great, it was a fantastic show. It was a great situational comedy. The actors were amazing, and it gave birth to some amazing moments in Nickelodeon history. Oh, I should have got some orange soda for this. Damn it!
Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda.
Is it true?
I do. Oh my gosh, I'm such a 90s nerd.
Hey, well, join the club, my friend. We're all 90s nerds, okay? Except maybe Mike. He's probably an 80s nerd, but, All right. Number 3, we're going. Colton, what's number 3 on your list?
All right, number 3 on my list this is probably going to be the silliest one on my list, and I can kind of understand why, because the licensing issues are probably going to be a nightmare for it, but what the hell? The Muppet Babies, okay? I really enjoyed this show, and I understand that they had a lot of stock footage from actual sources that will be a nightmare to try to sort out and everything. But in the off chance that they could, I don't think I would actually mind buying the show. It was, despite the fact that it was like a kid show on Nickelodeon and everything, it was very hilarious. It had a lot of memorable, moments and characters. I would happily go out and buy the whole thing if I could. I think, I think it's probably one of the few examples of a babyfication series actually done right, probably because it was one of the first.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I enjoyed that show as well. I watched it on Nick Jr. quite often. All right, Mike, what's number 3 on your list?
here's where I get a little bit more eclectic. Number 3 on my list is the original Japanese Iron Chef.
Really?
I have never, ever seen the complete series of that, or even any seasons of that released on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. I can't even find them streaming. I mean, I went on Amazon. You can find Iron Chef America, Iron Chef, like the new Iron Chef, whatever. All those ones, you can find those everywhere. But the original Iron Chef, I could not find it anywhere. And I would adore that series. I would watch it start the beginning from the Iron Chef Japanese 1 to Iron Chef Japanese 2 to Iron Chef Japanese 3. I don't care. I'd watch them all. It is one of my favorite series from Food Network back in the day, and I still love it to this day. I've got any episodes I've been able to find that I've been able to download. I have, and I will watch them whenever I just get the yen for it, which is quite often actually. So, yeah, my number 3 is Iron Chef, the original.
Fuki-san.
Yes, Ota-san.
It's funny you should mention the Iron Chef Japan because number 3 on my list is also Iron Chef Japan.
Booyah!
Really? Wow.
It was a fantastic show, and several months ago we talked about how shows from Japan influenced our childhood. That was one of them. This was really our first introduction to like Japanese culture through their food, and I just the dubbing on this show on Food Network was just fantastic. I mean, you got Bill Beckert as Fuki and Fuki-san, and the chairman was just so flamboyant. I love it. And then some of the dishes they would come up with, my dad and I would talk about, all the time, just which ones look good, which ones didn't. I mean, I always love what was his name? The Italian guy. Kobe.
Yes.
Kobe. His dishes just always looked amazing. Even when he used ingredients I didn't like I freaking want to eat that right now. And then, Morimoto would always make some great dishes too. Oh. But I mean, yeah, it was a fantastic show, and there are several episodes on Food Network. On YouTube. I'm sorry, there are a lot of episodes on YouTube, and they're from the Food Network dub, so they got the original Food Network music, not the stuff that got changed when it moved over to Cooking Channel and that shit. But I mean, yeah, I love that show, and I would buy a complete series set with the Food Network dub. I don't know if they dubbed all the episodes, but I mean, if they didn't, bring them over and dub them right now. Do it. All right, so number 2, Colton, go.
Okay, trying to archive this show in its entirety would be a nightmare because it has like maybe 900 or so episodes. But the fact that it hasn't been released in its entirety is also kind of a bit of a surprise because it's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Okay, yes, the original series. There was like two different runs with it. One from 1968 to 1976, and then one from 1979 to 2001, and the first run was apparently never released or something like that, from what I can tell. And I'm just thinking, how come? I mean, okay, yes, 900 episodes, that's a lot, but it's also Mr. Rogers. I don't think anybody would want to, just not disregard his earlier stuff, I was kind of admittedly, I was kind of running out of things to look for, but for my list. But still, it's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and we need Mr. Rogers more than ever. I mean, the fact that they were coming out with a movie based on Mr. Rogers with Tom Hanks playing him, I think that would give them even more incentive, give whoever holds the rights even more incentive to go ahead and just go back and re-release all the episodes if they have the means and opportunity to do so. Well, they have the opportunity now, and now if they have the means, they should go for it. So Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is my number 2.
Yeah, I would buy that. I would show it to Caleb's son. I think everyone needs a little Mr. Rogers in their lives. I think everyone does. All right, Mike, what's number 2 on your list?
Number 2, I'm sticking with the Food Network. Actually, it is the one show that I actually liked more than Iron Chef, and that was Good Eats with Alton Brown.
Nice.
I mean, this was a guy that he was a nerd just like us, And he loved Monty Python. He loved MST3K. He loved Julia Child. He loved all like the really kind of eclectic ones, and he would use all these like Dutch angles when he shot. It was this cooking show unlike anything you've ever seen before. It was a cooking show that, hell, there were some episodes where it's a cooking show with a plot.
A cooking show with a plot.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there was one where he was doing a whole kind of a Exorcist spoof where this kid wouldn't eat peas, so he had to find ways of making dishes that would appeal to this like demon possessed kid, so it wouldn't spew out peas, pea soup and all that.
What's the name of this show?
Good
Eats. Actually, all the episodes are available on the Food Network app. If you download the Food Network app and you have a subscribe account, you can watch them. But I agree with you. Get a complete series set.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 seasons I found on DVD, and I bought on DVD because they were available through Target for some reason. I don't know why, but I've never been able to find the entire series, start to finish. I think it ran for 20 seasons or whatever. It ran
for 12 or 13.
Oh, okay, but it ran for a long time, and I have never been able to notice any depth in quality. I have been able to find all the episodes, and I downloaded them, so I do have them to watch. But I want high def. Come on, give it to me, please. So yeah, number 2 on my list is Good Eats.
Okay. I'm all for number 2 on my list, and I'm also sticking with the Food Network theme. Speaking of cooking shows that no one had really ever seen, my pick is Dinner Impossible. Now, I know most people know Robert Irvine for Restaurant Impossible, and it's a good show as well, but that's really been there, done that. Dinner Impossible, the concept is great. He's put into this situation with no knowledge. He's got to cook for a huge number of people, a limited amount of time, and some of the restrictions that he had on him were just, they could range from really creative, just downright insane. I think my favorite episode is probably from, unfortunately, the final season. He's dispatched to the University of North Carolina. He's told he has 6 hours to cook a meal for 100 students, but the catch is no grocery store, no cafeteria. He has to get all of his food from student dorm rooms. And if you know college students, they eat shit. Yes. These kids are gallons of cereal. There was canned soup and thousands of pounds of ramen noodles in there, which I don't think any legit chef of Robert Irvine caliber would even touch that. And somehow he has to make it high-end gourmet food, and he pulls it off. He made this pork ramen Alfredo with ramen noodles, canned pork product, and an improv Alfredo sauce milk and cream cheese and ranch dip. I'm like, good Lord.
I saw an episode of that where he had to make up a meal for the executives of the Eagles. The Philadelphia
that's
Eagles.
on YouTube actually.
And he was given no food, no barely any money. He had to make cooking implements and get all his food from all the people that are tailgating.
Yep.
It was insane, and he pulled it off. It was amazing.
Yeah. Several of the episodes are available to watch and download from YouTube. And there are some good ones, but I mean, Food Network, come on. Can you please give us a complete series box set? This show was absolutely fantastic. And even though I know the outcomes, I could still watch these episodes just because some of the dishes he will come up with are just insane. So, Food Network, come on.
I did see an episode where he failed.
Yeah, there were a couple episodes he failed. Most notably, I think, the candy episode where he had to incorporate candy in every one of his dishes. He failed that one. But yeah, there were several that he failed. But I mean, even when failing, some of the things he would come up with, just my God. Now, I don't even know if Gordon Ramsay could pull off some of those challenges.
Sounds pretty cool.
It is. Like I said, there are several episodes available on YouTube. It lasted 8 seasons. Robert Irvine hosted 7 of them, with Michael Simon hosting season 5 after Irvine got fired, but then was rehired. Long story, don't ask. But yeah, fantastic show. Release all 8 seasons. Irvine, Simon, I don't care. Just give it all of us, Food Network. Come on. Now, let's go. All right. So number 1, here we go. Colton, what's number 1 on your list?
All right.
Actually, I have a feeling I know what it is because I think we might have the same one.
The 90s was a bit of a renaissance for comic book superhero TV shows. We had X-Men, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, Batman, the animated series, and the one on my list, Spider-Man, the animated series. Admittedly, it is available in the United Kingdom, not in the United States. Why? I don't know why. I have heck if I know. And I think that's that's like BS, okay? I mean, Spider-Man is one of the most popular superheroes of all time, and the 90s series is what was like a gateway series for a lot of Spider-Man fans, like myself. You know, that's what got me into the character and why I still love Spider-Man to this. One of the reasons why I love Spider-Man to this day. It like so many Spider-Man adaptations take accurate actually. Like the Black Suit Saga, that set the rules for how the symbiote acts in almost every adaptation it's appeared in since. You know, we got some great voice acting, great storylines, and even when they had to kind of cheap out on the animation because Fox apparently hated them from time to time, they still managed to work with what they had. And of course, there was the whole them getting canceled without resolving the storyline, but it was still pretty epic, you know, especially when Spider-Man teams up with 5 other Spideys in the final season to save the entire universe. That was like the Avengers Endgame of our childhood in a way. So yeah, somebody get on actually releasing this whole thing on releasing the entire series. All we've gotten so far are maybe like the occasional best of like DVD sets or whatever, or volumes. And I think as Paul once said in one episode long ago, fuck volumes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 1 on my list is Spider-Man, the animated series.
And occasionally you can find that series on bootleg.
Yeah, but it's bootleg.
Yeah, it's still on Blu-ray and it still had definition, just saying. But yeah, my number 1 will come as a complete surprise to absolutely no one who knows me.
Mystery Science Theater
3000.
Keep circulating the tapes.
I mean, you've got these collections. You got, I don't know how many. This was 35. This was like one of the last ones I've got, but I think they've come out with like 3 or 4 that I haven't gotten yet. Each one has like 4 movies. They've gotten like a couple of special ones where they had 5 movies, but seriously, seasons 1 through 10. Seasons 1 through 7 on Comedy Central, or season 1 on Comedy Channel, season 2 on Comedy Central, and then season 8, 9, and 10 on Sci-Fi Channel. I know there are huge issues with getting the rights to both the TV show, the MST3K TV show, and the movies, because you got to get both of them to release it. But please, I mean, half these movies nobody even cared about before the show, and half of them people don't care about even after the show. The only reason they care about it is because they're damn fine episodes. But yeah, it is my favorite TV series of all time. Is, in my opinion, one of the greatest TV series of all time. I want the complete series of 1 through 10. 11 and 12 are both available. I've got 11, the Netflix series. I haven't gotten 12 because I didn't learn about that Kickstarter until too late. But just please, for me, please. I've got, like I said, I've got every volume. I've even got the volumes that aren't even available anymore because the rights to the movies have lapsed. I've still got them. I don't care. I'm not getting rid of them because damn it, I love these movies. So yeah, my number 1, MST3K Mystery Science Theater 3000.
One of these days, I'd like to be able to introduce you to my dad, Mike, because he loves this MST3K as well. And I think you two could just have a fun day together, just watching some of those episodes. All right, so among other shows that he loves, that's one of his favorites. Okay, so number 1 on my list is just like Colton. It's Spider-Man the Animated Series. I don't really think I can add too much more to what Colton said, aside from it's really, you look at, it's almost like the Batman animated series of the Marvel animated universe at that time. It was so well done. It was treated with such respect, and we were so passionate about it because the creators were so passionate about it. Sure, some of the cell animation has aged poorly, but it was the 90s, so I mean, give them credit for trying something new. And I mean, yeah, I mean, the voice talent on this show was just fantastic. You got Christopher Daniel Barnes as Spider-Man, and just all the villains. You got the Hobgoblin, you got Craven, and probably the definitive Mary Jane Watson in variation. I mean, woo! What a spitfire redhead, baby! Like I give her credit for trying, but Kirsten Dunst did not pull that off. I want to see that Mary Jane in the film at some point. Come on. It'll never happen, but come on. At some point, can we see a good Mary Jane? So, yeah. Number 1, Spider-Man the Animated Series. Why the fuck it's not available in the UK and the US, I don't know. I'd love to be able to order it from the UK, but I don't have a region-free player. So, I mean, Marvel, Fox, I mean, they're all owned by Disney now, so I guess Disney, come on. You want to earn some respect back from the fans because you're pissing off a lot of people right now? Release that on Blu-ray. You'll get some respect back, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, number 1, Spider-Man, the Animated Series. Okay, guys, so that is going to wrap up our countdown, but we're not done just yet. It's been several months since we did one of these, so we are going to go into a collection update. I'm sure we've got a whole lot, so let's start looking. Let's start showing off. Colton, show us some of the things you've gotten over the past several months.
Okay, well, it's not much. I only got 2 things here, but this is a purchase I made literally just today, and that is the 4th season of Castle. I did not watch Castle. I watched Castle sporadically when it originally aired, and so I had the first 3 seasons on DVD, and so I decided to watch all of them. And now that I've just finished that, I bought season 4 so I can see what happens next. I mean, obviously, I know that Beckett isn't going to be dead, but I want to see exactly the circumstances that led to her getting shot, among other things. And also, this is a show that I watched a lot, but then when I got into college, I just fell behind and I never caught back up on it. So I'm rectifying that mistake now with the TV series known as Fringe. I got as far as season 3. I got maybe halfway into season 4 before falling off the wagon, but I'm getting back on it now that I bought the DVD. So I'm gonna hope that hope this season holds up like the rest of the show, and we'll see where we go from there. So that's what I got to show you guys.
Okay, Mike, what are some of the things you've gotten?
All right, sit back, relax. I got some stuff here. First off, I'm going to do a minor plug for a coworker of mine, actually, who's written his own comic book. It's called The Mighty Mascots.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it basically, since he can't obviously get the rights to, Captain Crunch and stuff like that, he uses kind of basic
Sergeant Soggy.
Exactly, stuff like that. But basically, these serial mascots have come to life, and now they've got to fight against various monsters and mutants and other mascots that have come to life but are evil, including it's like toothpaste mascots.
Let me guess, the version of Count Chocula is the bad guy.
Oh, no, I haven't seen the Count Chocula. But
Sounds like something Food Fight would have tried to do, but maybe they would have succeeded.
You not speak of that movie's name.
It's a fun little series, though. And sticking with comics for the moment, the hardcover of Silent Interlude. This was my favorite all-time. This is one of my favorite comics issues of all time. G.I. Joe. It is completely. There is absolutely no dialogue in the series at all. It was, I think, issue 21 of the Marvel Comics. Yep, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero number 21, and it basically. It reveals that there's a connection between Snake Eyes and actually introduces Storm Shadow. This is the introduction of Storm Shadow and the reveal of connection between him and Snake Eyes. And not only that, I actually got it signed by the author, Larry Hama.
Nice.
Impressive.
Yeah. Next. Okay, video game, King's Quest.
Right?
This was a five little mini game series. Like they've done with like Walking Dead and stuff like that. But it's based on one of my all-time favorite Sierra adventure games from back in the day. Yes, the 80s. 80s kid right here. All right, now we got some movies here. We got Mary Poppins Returns, which was fantastic. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Into the Spider-Verse. My Hero Academia, Two Heroes, the movie there. Captain Marvel, Lego Movie Part 2, the second chapter. Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, complete first season of The Monkeys.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
Exactly. It is one of the more weird, whacked out, trippy series, but damn it, it is funny and it is still fun to watch.
You know, little note, I don't think any of those guys were actually real musicians before the show started, but they worked their asses off to become good ones.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the show never once, when promoting the show, said these guys are real musicians. This was all just designed to be a TV show with actors playing musicians. But just because they had this, the scenes where they would play the music because they're acting as musicians, people thought they were supposed to be real musicians, and so when they weren't, it kind of blew up on their face like, we never said we were real musicians. But yeah, they actually learned how to play, and they have released a couple of albums. Well, before I think 2 of them have died so far.
And I think is Davy Jones dead? Or?
Davy Jones was the first to die, actually, and then just I want to say either earlier this year or last year, Peter Tork died. So just the 2 mics are left.
Okay. All right, nice. All right. So what I got, I did get a couple of video games for start off. I got the Lego Marvel collection that has Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Avengers, and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Yeah, Mike's happy about that. And then I got the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster. I enjoyed this game. I don't know if it's quite as good as the first 2 Ezio games, but a solid entry nonetheless. And yeah, I enjoyed that. All right, so that's it. Moving on to movies. I got to back up. Yeah, I got everything over here now. So first one, I have ventured into the realm of 4K now, gentlemen. Captain Marvel Steelbook 4K, my first 4K purchase. And I have to see, let me just move it up there to see. Right there.
But do you have a 4K player or a 4K TV?
I have a 4K TV, and my Xbox One S has 4K capability.
Nice.
All right. And then, is that the only one I got up here? Yes. All right, and speaking of 4K, oh, you know what? Before I show that, I don't know if I showed this, but I did get Aquaman on Blu-ray, but nice steelbook. And speaking of 4K, I also got Shazam steelbook in 4K as well.
Shazam!
Yep. All right, and then oh yes, right here because I don't have anything else here to show. I upgraded a little. I got this Jurassic World steelbook that has superset that has all 5 Jurassic Park movies. Well, all 3 Jurassic Park films and both Jurassic World films. That. And yes. I don't know if I showed this off or not, but I got this Expendables 3-pack that has all of the Expendables films. And this is a recent acquisition. Just picked this up couple weeks ago. Got the Balto 3-film set. So all 3 Balto films. Here, yes. And this one, again, another recent pick. I actually just watched this yesterday. Scooby-Doo: Curse of the 13th Ghost, a continuation of the short-lived Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo series that ran in the early 70s.
Really? A continuation?
No, it was not the early 70s, please. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo was the either 80s or early 90s.
Okay.
But they made a continuation of it? When did that happen?
Vincent Price died, and he voiced Vincent Van Gogh in that series.
Yeah, it was an interesting show. It was a fun show, but it didn't last more than one season, and it ended on pretty much a cliffhanger.
Yeah, well, this movie resolves the cliffhanger, so nice. There we go. Okay. Also got 3 more steelbooks added to my collection. I got the 03 Hulk film on steelbook. got Finding Dory, the Disney Steel Target exclusive that I found at FYE. And then also at FYE, I found a Goonies Steelbook. So let's see. I think, nope, no. A couple more over here. Yes. Right. Also added a few DC animated films. I got Reign of the Supermen, which was a very solid movie. Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which has the classic Bruce Timm, Paul Dini animation to it. So it's friggin' awesome. And it was a solid film. And then there's no way this should have worked, but by God, it did. Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This movie should not have worked, but fuck, it did. I love this movie very much. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Wait, did you just say Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes, I said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they did it. I also got Reign of the Superman. I haven't watched it yet, but I did.
It's a solid film. You'll like it. All right.
I mean, I mainly bought it because I love that comic storyline.
Yeah, it's a continuation of their previous films, The Death of Superman.
Yeah.
So yeah. As you know, I'm a big Red Sox fan, so I finally picked up the 2018 World Series film on Blu-ray.
Yeah, for sure. But that ain't going to happen again this year.
I don't know. We'll see. Last I checked, we had already spanked the Yankees twice in this recent series, and we're beating them again.
Yeah, how far are we out of wild card spot?
Actually, if we won tonight's game, we'd taken the second wild card spot.
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. And then last, I did get 2 new seasons of Super Sentai. Ginga Man, which I literally just purchased today, and Go-Go 5. So I'm slowly catching up. I'm slowly getting closer to having all of them. Next on my list is Time Ranger.
Which seasons of Power Rangers were those shows for?
Ginga Man was Lost Galaxy, and Go-Go 5 was Lightspeed Rescue.
Cool.
And that was my collection update. So, guys, I want to thank you very much for being here. Colton, thank you for being here.
Happy to be here. This is an interesting topic. I like looking into it.
All right. And Mike, it was a pleasure having you here as well.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
All right. For our next show, hopefully whenever that is, I'd like to be able to do this topic before summer ends. For our next show, we are going to be counting down to our top 5 favorite foods that we like to eat while watching movies. Because staying home inside and watching movies is a great activity to do when it's hot as hell outside, and you want something tasty to go with it. So we'll see you next time for that. Until then, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.